Hello, my SS1 scientist. Welcome to chemistry class with another wonderful coach who will be taking us on another wonderful topic as you can see on the board. This year, we are not just memorizing formulas, we are understanding why things mix, react, and even explode from atom to acid, from mixture to reaction. We go tackle everything together. Get your notebook, sit down, and let's start today's lesson as our uncle will take us on what you can see on the board.
Okay guys, so welcome once again. Now as we see on the board, we are familiar with this topic and we know when you were in your junior class, you were told what an atom is. Atom. So we have on the board, we have what we call the atomic structure. But here, I'm going to introduce chemistry to you like as a proper science subject. Now, chemistry is just a science subject that deals with, let me say, nature, or let's say the forces of nature, the forces that holds matter together. The forces that holds matter together. So that is what chemistry is all about. It has to do with the forces that holds the state of matter together. If I say atoms, what are the forces that hold it together, and so on and so forth. Now here on the board we have what we call the atomic structure. Like we know that atomic structure, atomic from the word atom. Atom. Now from the Greek word atomos. Atomos. That is the origin. Greek word. Now let's look at it here. Let me start from this one. Atomos. Now let me tell you a bit of background story. This word atomos was actually experimented on by some scientists like Greek philosophers. Example of those philosophers are people like Democritus, the likes of Democritus. Now, these people just thought about it that everything in the universe are made up of tiny, undivisible particles that they call atom, or they call it atomos. So everything in the universe, just like when you look at Big Bang, according to scientists, they say they have what we call Big Bang. Big Bang is just like a light that started becoming bigger and bigger and bigger. So that's the way we are going to. Now from here we have what we call atomos. Atomos means something simple, something tiny. Something tiny. So from here, now it was now Latinized, or it was, let's say, Englishnized into the word atom. So atom basically means, It basically means something tiny and indivisible. You understand? So an atom properly in chemistry can be the smallest part of an element that can take part during a chemical reaction. So an atom is the smallest amount of an element which can take part during a chemical reaction. What do I mean by that? Let's say for example, we know elements. Example, hydrogen, helium, oxygen, boron, carbon, sulfur, chlorine, aluminium, manganese, and so on and so forth. So basically they are elements. So the smallest amount of those elements that can take part during a chemical reaction, let's say for example, if I have sodium here, can combine with hydrogen gas to give us sodium hydride, NaH. Now, two atoms here combines with two atoms of hydrogen or one molecule of hydrogen to give us two molecules of sodium hydride. This is a simple chemical reaction. So what do I mean by this? When you look at this on the board, we can say basically we have a reaction. So here, atoms, the smallest amount of this, like here, we can say we have two sodium atoms. One sodium, one sodium. So these two sodium come together to form two sodium atoms. So the smallest amount that can take part during a chemical reaction is what we call atom. But that's not where we are going to. I think I've explained this to you already. Now we are looking at what we call atomic structure. Atomic structure, basically, when you look at an atom is very tiny. An atom cannot be seen with our naked eyes, but can be seen through what we call X-ray studies. So we call it X-ray studies. So in X-ray studies, they magnify an atom. So when they magnify, they discover that an atom has a centrally placed substance that is called a nucleus. The centrally placed substance is called a nucleus. Just like in biology, We know that a cell has a nucleus, it has a vacuum, contractile vacuum, blah, 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 blah. Now here, in this nucleus, it's now divided into two parts. We have the neutron and we have the proton. While we have here the electron, which moves around. So the electron is moves around the nucleus. So what do I mean here? We have this just like an atom of hydrogen. So an atom of hydrogen basically has one electron. An electron is negatively charged. A proton is positively charged, while a neutron is neutral. It is neutral. So basically here we can see that here this atom has one proton and one electron. One proton, one electron, and one neutron. So that is just the structure of an atom. Basically, when we magnify an atom, this is what we see. Now, let's look at the other part of it. When atoms combine together, they form molecule. Example, one hydrogen atom combined with another hydrogen atom to form a hydrogen molecule. So it's just like that. Now here, this electron moves or revolves around this nucleus. Now it moves around it and it is being held by a force we call the electromotive force. That is a force that holds the electron to the nucleus, just like that. Now here, when we now look at it further, we have the structure of an atom. Now, like I said earlier, I said an atom has neutron, it has a proton, it has an electron. Now basically, let's say I have an atom X. An atom X has A under, then it has B at the top. Now this one here is what we call the atomic number. While this one here is what we call the mass number. Atomic number and mass number. Now here, the atomic number is a number of protons. So this one is here, let's say it is the number of protons. Now remember I told you before, I said protons are positively charged, while electron. Now here, the mass number here is the number of neutron plus proton. Neutron plus proton gives the mass number, while proton gives the atomic number. Now let's look at it. Let's say for example, if I have this atom X that has an atomic number 3, it has an atomic number 3 and a mass number 9. Now, how many protons will it have? It will have 3 protons. Now here, how many electrons? Now, the number of protons is equal to the number of electrons. So that means it will have 3 electrons. Then number of neutrons. Remember, proton plus neutron give us a mass number. I can just do it like this. If you are someone who understands mass, you just see neutron plus proton is equal to the mass number. Now the mass number is 9. Now what is the number of proton? The number of proton is 3. Just see n plus 3 is equal to 9. Then here I say n is equal to 9 minus 3. Then n is equal to 6. So that means the number of neutron is 6. So I believe we all understand this topic. So basically that is just the structure of an atom. So I'll see you during the next class. So if you have any question, you can just put it in the comment section and I'll be here to explain to you. Thank you.